All right. After having something called again technical problems, you know when you have problems, it just makes you better.
That's right.
So now I feel for you guys. If you are an actor or an actress, now I feel the pain. Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. If you are in Asia, in Africa, in Canada, in South America, wherever you guys are, welcome again to one more amazing interview in our series of 100 Days of American Immigrants. It's just a hashtag. I'm just spotlighting beautiful people that took the chance to live abroad, to live in another place. So it's not restricted to Americans only. And today, I have the pleasure, the honor, the ability to pick a brain of somebody that I've already been admiring without, he already impacted my life without well, you didn't know that, but probably you knew. He has artwork displayed in Midtown here in Houston, Texas. And I've seen many people taking pictures on a mural, and I'm driving a smart car for Wired International, and I have a picture with a mural, with his mural. So here we are with Sebastien. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly in French. Sebastien in English, Sebastien in Espanol. And why don't you tell our audience today on Facebook Live a little bit about yourself, and if you don't do the justice, I'll ask the questions. We are here in his studio, so we're gonna show a little bit of that too.
Bonjour, hello everyone. Sebastien, artist name is Mr.D. Welcome to my studio. It's never open, so this is kind of a treat. You know, it's pretty rare to bring people. This is the Bat Cave, so this is where some of this magic happened. So I'm a former graffiti artist, turned street artist, mural artist. I guess every 10 years they seem to find a new name for us. So. But I guess I'm a professional artist. This is what I do. I originally from France, but I've been in Houston for over 10 years now, and I love it.
How many years?
Over 10 years.
In Houston, and then in the U.S.?
In the U.S. almost 20 years.
20 years, okay. So well, very surprised your English is superb. Born and raised in, now tell us a little bit of where were you born, what city, and
sure.
How many years did you live there?
So I was born in a pretty well-known city called Versailles, okay, where the castle is in France. I grew up in Paris until I was 25 years old. And I started really experiencing, actually through graffiti and meeting artists, started traveling to Africa, to Australia, to, you know, of course, all over Europe, and of course, North America. And I ended up meeting someone and establishing myself in the U.S.
So there's always a purpose. That is why I ended up, why Houston, why Texas? You know, he mentioned in our previous cut of the technical problem that he loved cowboys and he loved cows and horses.
I was being sarcastic on it. Yeah, I don't do well with the cowboy hat, but I love the culture. I think I love. I mean, Texas has such a friendly, you know, personality.
Correct.
That's where I want to be. I want to be around nice people.
I appreciate it, and it's calling me nice. So we have the ability to be right now on his studio. So we're going to be talking a little bit about this piece behind. We had a conversation off the cameras, and I was, you know, touring the space. We are actually neighbors in profession, and also I don't know if you live in the area or not. Mm-hmm. But tell us, what is it to be a French-born and raised with all the French culture? Your mom lives there, and now you live in a combination of two worlds where you're not from there anymore, but you're not fully from here either.
Well, I think for the world has opened up, and being a foreigner, like most people in Houston or most people in America, people tend to forget that. And having a biculture, whatever, you know, whether it's it doesn't matter what it's. You have more to offer. You
Correct.
know, for me, even in my work, I'm a graffiti. You know, I use spray cans, but there's a lot of old world feel. So I kind of combine the two in my, because that's my experience. So
Correct.
I think the more places you go, the more you experience, and I think it makes you a better person.
So it's pretty much it's a benefit. I'm not saying if you're not living in another place, you're least or less by any means. But it's an ability that we have to expose our culture, to bring, you know, through our daily lives, through our community. We live in community, we benefit and we contribute to. So this is one of the things that we decided to do. We don't talk about politics right here, but no religion, because that's like underwear. It belongs to you. But we are undergoing with a lot of, you know, immigration stuff happening around the United States, and it's creating a lot of attention around the world. What's your intake of immigration exists already? Rules and regulations have been there for hundreds of years now. What is the, well, I don't know if it's hundreds of years, but at least, you know, for a long period. What is your intake on the way laws are being implemented?
Well, again, I'm an artist, so, you know, and I'm a human being, so of course I look at what's going on and I'm impacted by that. Me personally, even though I've got, you know, two passports and whatnot, I know people who don't, and they're fearful, they're misunderstood. I know there's a lot of concern, and that the sentiment that's happening here in the U.S. is actually kind of spreading in Europe, and when the world is becoming such a open, you know, place with transportation and culture, and I don't like what's going on for sure. I was very outspoken about the, you know, during the election. I'm not pleased with what's going on. And,
right, no.
and I get involved.
And you have the right, you know, we have the right. There's no absolutes in life ever. Some people are going to be content, some people are going to be disagreeing. Sure. It is what it is. It's called life. We take it as it comes. Now, you're an artist. You're also an entrepreneur because you decided to take life on your own terms. So why don't you tell us and share with our audience on Facebook a little bit about how it is to be an artist? The dirt and the skies.
Well, it's I think art chose me. I enjoyed doing graffiti as a kid, and 30 years later, it's become a profession where now I have a mural company called Eyeful Art, Murals and Designs, and so I you know, hire artists, and so we're pretty much full-blown, you know, art professionals. We do big murals or commissions for clients, etc. Right. But this is a very bumpy journey. You know, I do a lot of public speaking with kids and art students, and I pretty much tell them like it is. It is not going to be all happy every day. It's going to be rough. You're going to be tested. You're going to fail, and you're going to have successes too.
Right.
So it is not. I mean, you have to have a stomach for it and be ready. The passion has to be. I mean, the desire has to be 120% because you will be along the way tested.
True. Sorry, he's taller than me, so I'm trying to. I'm the only camera show guy right here, so I'm trying to do justice on the. There you go. Now we're perfect. I'm trying to do in and out so we can see the studio. We can see the ability of his art. This is one of the pieces I had.
We should have done this with the wings. Do you see the wings?
No, there's a piece that I am going to take a photo. Or we're going to take a photo, and I'm going to put it over right here on the comments. Thank you so much for the likes. Thank you so much for the comments that you're leaving us right now with. And it's an interesting piece that some people are going to love, some people are going to hate. I know that for sure. Now, the starving artist, all this complexity of running a studio and actually being out there because it's romantic, it's feelings and emotions, but all of us have to pay bills. This is a conversation that we're going to be having on the next blog. I'm going to be linking over here on our YouTube channel, JC Wired. We're going to keep it right here for the purpose of knowing Sebastien. Now, so you come from abroad, you bring all this to community, you are enriching people's lives through your art in Houston, Texas, from something you brought from France. Since you're from France, and I have some friends here that actually speak the language in France, in Belgium, in other countries, and also in Canada, and also in Houston. What can you tell them in French about Houston?
Bonjour. Houston, c'est une ville surprenante. On n'a pas toujours envie d'y aller au départ parce que c'est méconnu. Mais en fait, pour avoir voyagé dans plein d'endroits, c'est les gens. Il y a une qualité des gens qui est surprenante. Donc, les gens en général, ils viennent sans trop savoir, mais ils n'ont pas envie de repartir. Donc, venez à Houston.
Je vais apprendre le français. One day, I don't know. That's my only phrase that I know. Asante, ça va. No. Whatever he said, I don't understand. I'm gonna check on you guys.
It was good.
Okay, I'm gonna check on you guys. Please leave a comment right here. Now, so we promise this to keep as short as possible, under the 10 minutes. We are getting there. Now, to remember, the full interview on Picking His Brain is going to be coming up on the YouTube channel. We're going to follow this after this interview. Tell us about this painting right here.
It's a perfect example of this is on concrete wall texture. This is obviously done with spray can. This is actually a commission that I didn't think we were going to show to the world today. It's actually going to a client in downtown Houston. And what's interesting is it's a law firm of all things. And so it just shows how open-minded the world has become when it comes to art.
True.
And like you said earlier, some people may care for it, some won't. That's fine.
Yeah, there's two pieces right here, and we see. Well, I don't want an explanation. Just appreciate. You know, you can. I think you have a big picture of what it looks like. I don't like art to be explained, to be honest with you.
Well, there's a lot of items and there's a meaning behind everything. But again, I think it's sometimes it's best to not.
Let me just do justice with this right here, so you can see a little bit more of the shots right there. There you go. Now, so in order for us to continue with our rule to keep it under 10 minutes. I'm not going to do it in Spanish because I don't think even though he was in Colombia.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago in Cartagena, Baru.
Fun time.
Beautiful time. A lot of Colombians that he's appreciated, so we appreciate the appreciation. Guys, what message that you could leave the audience today of somebody who probably is thinking or has thought about moving or living in another place? Doesn't have to be just in another country, but living in another place. What can you leave us today with?
Well, I think, people by nature are kind of fearful of what they don't know, and experiencing something new is a little bit, but from my own experience and the experience of others, it makes you see the world from a different perspective. I think it makes you a stronger person because you experience things than you take in. So that becomes you. So nowadays I feel as French as I feel American and vice versa. So I think it's always a plus, especially for kids. Definitely send your kids to experience the world and see other things.
Thank you so much, Sebastian. I'm going to be linking more pictures because the humongous mural there is over here, very famous in Houston and also especially in downtown. It was changed for the Super Bowl, I know.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So we're going to be probably seeing that one. I'm going to be linking over here in the comments. Please visit his website, Mr.D 1987, if I'm not mistaken.
Right,
and we're going to link more websites that whatever he wants to allow. I'm so happy to be in his studio. We're going to maybe a quick tour, maybe not. It's up to you. Guys, thank you so much for staying with us today, again, on this series of 100 Days of American Immigrants. And ciao, ciao, arrivederci, goodbye. Thank you so much for having us over here.